Hello, everyone. Jane here from Your Way Weight Loss. And today we're talking about 'tis the season to be jolly.
Basically,
Basically, 'tis the season to have so much fun,
so much fun.
all the fun. So, you guys, we want to talk about summer and how it's not a friendly season for weight loss. And I think it's important that we have that discussion because often we put our journey kind of on the back burner during summer. And what it really needs to do is just coexist with your summer fun and not completely be out of the conversation, out of your mind. Like it needs to coexist. The humans need to know.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it too is setting yourself up for an appropriateness in a sense.
Okay.
Like I think if you go into summer with expectations of giant weight loss, you're probably going to be disappointed.
Right.
And it's just important to really have the conversation. Like I would never say to someone, you shouldn't try to lose weight in the summer or you can't lose weight in the summer. But I would say to someone, let's have a really honest conversation about what it would take to lose weight in the summer.
Yeah. And I think that it's managing your expectations. And I think it's just from the get go, it's understanding that it's not a friendly season for that type of success. Doesn't mean that you cannot lose weight during the summer. But I do think that people need to understand that, like, even like, body competitors, or you know what I mean? Those people, summer, there's no competitions in the summer. It's just not the season for it. It's not the, like, usually it's like in November. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's just not the way it's set up, like how life is set up. It's just not friendly to weight loss. And so that's why sometimes I think that we get a little bit more like annoyed than the normal human when we see things like 6-week shred in the summer, or like I saw this like advertisement or whatever post about having a summer goal, whatever. And it wasn't like, it seemed like, it was basically like something that someone was selling, and it was, buy my meals and, having your meals provided for the summer and whatever. And in my mind, like, I'm like, whatever, everyone can do whatever they want, like totally okay with that. But what I wish would be like, it's almost like I would like a warning or just friendly note on the bottom. Like, you don't need certain meals to be able to lose weight, maintain weight, whatever. I just feel like there should be like a fair warning sometimes about these things. And also, I think it's the message of this is the only way to do it, which I don't like.
That's the part for me.
Yeah.
They should say, warning, there's nothing special about these meals. The reason why these meals could help you is because they are pre-portioned and therefore will help to put you in a calorie deficit.
Exactly. So there's that piece. And then there's like, I don't know. So there's the piece of people think out there that they need a certain way to do it in order to lose weight. But also, I just wish that we could all have a conversation of like, it looks different to maintain your weight in the summer than it does, like, let's say in January, like, and also just basically, I wish everyone would have our meetings. I'm thinking of all of our meetings, Leash. I'm thinking of summer foods that's coming up. That's a great meeting to like really take off the labels of food. Because when you're saying to someone, here's the meals you're going to eat this summer, are fry clams in that, meal plan, or ice cream, which are very summer friendly meals. Like, that's exactly what people are looking forward to. And so I think it's it's not a negative message, but it's the message of, in order for you to have a successful summer, follow these meals. And that's the definition of it,
Yeah. And do you know what? I just finished recording yesterday. I recorded all of our July questions of the day.
Okay.
And a lot of the questions were, I actually have them right here. Sorry.
Oh, all good. They're kicking in now. The summer questions now, the question of the day, they're kicking in, and I read them every morning, and I'm like, oh, okay, these are good questions to set people up.
So these are some of the questions that people asked. Okay. So I moved to my cottage in the summer. We have happy hour every day, including snacks. How do I manage it? We go to my friend's house. She has a pool. There's a barbecue. How do I manage it? I want to eat chips when I drink. How do I manage it? How do I manage having snacks on the boat? How do I manage my fun and my weight loss? And you know what I saw in all of those questions? I wanted to find that person and say, is your goal really weight loss this summer?
Right.
Like, if you want to go to happy hour every single day and drink and eat snacks, at some point we can't have it all. As much as we say you can eat whatever you want and lose weight, which you can, but you can't have it all. Let's just have that moment. You cannot have it all.
You cannot have it all. And I think I said this in a live just a few days ago. I feel like I've said those words. It's being able to understand, having more knowledge. I think that again, the humans need more knowledge on, okay, how can I balance this so that this is me and I'm not being fake this summer and I'm not feeling deprived, that I'm feeling like I'm having my best life. But I think they need to understand that if they want to even just maintain within certain numbers this summer, you will not be able to do it all, eat it all. Maintenance is not you eating fried clams every day. Like it just isn't. And if you know that you're being in a surplus is a surplus. So if you are in a surplus on most days, you will end up gaining weight. And so creating a deficit, it's its own challenge. And I think that knowing that a maintenance range is a mix of surplus and deficits. So I said this, I think it was the other day, we talked about this where I said, even if you feel reasonable every time you are fun. So let's say you go to you're someone that's camping and you're going to the beach and like, you're just this fun person in the summer, tons of stuff to do. And you're feeling reasonable. You're like, I'm being so reasonable. Like I shared the fried clam. I just ate a small instead of a large. Like you're being reasonable. That will probably not be enough to lose weight, because just being reasonable is going to get you maintenance. There's a big chance that's what's going to happen.
That's an amazing point. I actually heard you say that. I don't know where it was. And I just experienced a weekend just like that. Thursday I had a bike booze tour, super reasonable. Friday, I met Neil on a patio for supper, super reasonable. Saturday, we went out to dinner, super reasonable. Sunday, Father's Day, super reasonable. But I had events Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I was in a surplus or at maintenance pretty close most of the time, but a surplus. Overall, a surplus.
Absolutely. And so, and if you kept going and there was like something on the Monday, something on the Tuesday, we're leaving for a camping trip, like that week is still a heavy week, and so we're not saying, that's why we're saying, are you sure you want weight loss? And the reason why is because often when we put a goal that we're not going to hit, we're not setting ourselves up for success. And then that creates feelings of disappointment and discourage and whatever. And then that often leads to saying, F it, like, never mind. Like, oh, but there's a choice here. It doesn't have to be weight loss or weight gain. There's that middle piece that you can really experience and balance. And there's a lot to be said about staying the same in the summer.
Absolutely. And think of it as a practice for your maintenance journey.
Yeah.
Think about just practicing what it feels like, what it looks like, what numbers you're okay with, and that whole experience, managing your numbers and managing going up, but not freaking out because you're still in your range. Like it's a great opportunity to practice and experience what maintenance looks like and feels like in the summer.
And I think that with reason, summer has the reputation of not being weight loss friendly. People know it because people gain a ton of weight in the summer. So, or they don't lose weight in the summer. Like that's the most common, So I think it has that reputation, which is with reason. It's right. It's true. Like, that it's not an easy season for weight loss. So I think there's, like you said, an opportunity to learn on how to manage your best life this summer and just stay put on the scale. Like there are strategies. There's a system that you can have in place to help you do that, you guys. So it doesn't have to be this all or nothing, or in the summer, that's just what I do. I mean, is that what you want to keep doing? Do you want to gain 10 pounds every friggin' summer for the rest of your life? Like, I think this could be your summer to learn on how to gain 2 pounds this summer instead, or basically to start September and you're the same. Like 2 pounds, or your pants still fit. 10 pounds, things are tight. You're fluffy. You feel fluffy.
Yep.
Thick, I say.
Yeah. You know what? It's a really good point that you said about systems. And this was my advice to people. I said, use this as an opportunity to start to create new systems. And if this is your first summer as a human that is trying to focus on their health, it's not going to be rainbows and butterflies. You won't have it all nailed down, but think about working on creating new systems for when you're at the camper, on the boat, by your friend's pool, during happy hour, new systems, new routines, new habits. And then summer 2022, you go into summer with this new set of habits and systems that you've worked on. And then you're that much more ahead and you keep going. And I know that you're like, oh my gosh, she's really like, this is a long-term game. Yes.
Yeah. I read this meme or whatever, this fitness person on Instagram, and he basically the message was exactly the timeline piece that we, keep talking about and that we value so much, is that he said, it's funny how most people think that fat loss and muscle gain is this like timelined thing. Like if I do this for 12 weeks, I should lose fat and gain muscle or whatever. He's like, buddy, this is for life. Like if you want to keep the fat off and you want to keep your look, your feels, whatever, this is for life. And that's why your intentions need to be good. It can't be 20 pounds for the cruise, you guys. It needs to be because this is like the type of life you want to live and it's the system you want to create. And so what Alicia and I do here is we show you a way that you're the boss. I think that there's a lot of that. Like people are trying to help people do it, right? Lose the weight, keep it off, whatever. But sometimes we actually get help from someone that does not really live the same type of life as us. And we're like, this is short term. Like if I were to get help from a 22-year-old that doesn't have kids and lives alone, whatever advice that person is giving me for the 10 weeks that I'm with them, like after the 10 weeks, like what do I do now? Like, because I can live that life for only a certain amount of time because it's not my life. Like it just isn't, I can fake it for 10 weeks to get the transformation. But after that, like once I go on my cruise and I'm back, what do I do now? I don't want to do this forever. It's just not my life. It's not my way, So I think there's something to be said about making sure that when you embark on your journey, on your own journey, that you get inspired and motivated and strategies that really align with who you are and the type of life you live.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, there's no magic to it. There is no magic to it. There's no wand. And realize that you have created habits around your life. So not everyone does happy hour the exact same way you do happy hour. That isn't just the only way to do happy hour. That's the way you do happy hour.
Yeah. And I was thinking as well, like if you can just value the like consistency and also experience, I think that people are like, as long as if I have success, that's all that's not that's all that's important, but that's all that's valuable to me. And you know what? No, it really is about experience. So I think a few podcasts ago, we celebrated the fact that we have no noise this summer, Alicia. And like having no noise comes from experience. Yeah. So this is not our first summer, you guys. So we're going into this summer pretty chill, actually. Tons of fun planned. And we're not panicking at all. Did we have summers where we panicked? Absolutely. The first ones. So there were many summers where we were like, shit, summer's here. Oh, I'm going to lose all my progress,
And every summer that I panicked and every summer that I set ridiculous goals for myself, I gained weight. Yeah. I felt like a failure. I was not successful. I didn't learn anything but how to try to be extremely extreme and then go completely off the wagon back and forth. So it's so ironic that the summers that I was worried and like trying, I was unsuccessful.
I also think that one of the pieces that is unreasonable for people to think that it's just, okay, if you think that the life that you lived in February, you're like, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep doing the same thing I used to do and it should work this summer. You need to understand that summer is like its own friggin' little thing on it. Like it's a different season. So it is not the same, you guys. So you legit need to, like Alicia said, create new systems, new boundaries, routines, a new way of living because summer is not the same as winter. It just is not. So I think that that's also an unreasonable goal, not even just the weight loss piece to it, Leash, but like people saying like, okay, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep exercising 5 times a week. I'm going to keep blah, blah, blah. And maybe that worked in the winter, but in the summer, that might not be feasible for you and the life you want to live. Now you might do it and then you feel deprived and like, oh, I have to like live this sucky life in the summer. Well, that's not the way to do it.
That's the thing too, right? And same for me. Like I joined the gym back and I'm like, do I want to go to the gym in the summer? Like I need to think about that. Do I want to put my membership on hold? Does that fit my life? Could I fit it in? Absolutely. But am I going to resent going to the gym and not want to? That's not what I want either.
I love what you just said. There's a part of what we do, you guys, that it's about could I? Yes. Do I want to? And I do think that there's not a lot of those conversations when we're trying to lose weight. We're not even looking into like who we are and what makes us happy. And at the end of the day, like if you keep saying, oh, I don't want to, yet do we have to get out of our comfort zone sometimes? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, if you don't want the results, I was talking to this member and she had stopped walking. And I was like, are you still walking? Because I remember that she had started. And she's like, nope, forgot to track it one week. And then got discouraged. I'm like, you forgot to track your walking. So then you stop. Like, isn't that?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay, do we want to start walking again? Do we like walking? Do we want to walk today? Like those are my 3 questions. And she's like, do I want to walk? The answer is no. But I want to be the person that like every time I do it, I like it. Like I know that I can do this. I know it's a part. So I'm like, okay, well, I think then you have to. Because if you know that it's a part of who you want to be, you have to have that conversation with yourself as well.
I love that point actually, because we don't always want to do the things. So you ask yourself, do I want to eat chips every single day at happy hour? Do I want to? Maybe say yes, but then ask yourself, do you want to be the person that eats chips every single day at happy hour? What is the answer? Is it yes or no? You might need to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, right? Because we want to walk, we don't want to walk, or we do want to do this, but that's not the person we want to be long term.
So that is a great conversation to have with yourself. Now, let's say the person, Leash, says, yes, I want to eat chips every day. I want to eat chips and wine. You know what? You are not going to gain weight this summer with chips and wine. You will gain weight this summer by eating chips, wine, bagels at breakfast, ice cream every night. Like there's that accumulation. So if you're like, I want that so much and I also don't want to gain weight, then yeah, you're going to have to like figure something out for your other meals, girl. Like you can't have it all. Like there's also that part, like you can't have it all.
Yeah, but like you're right. You could drink wine and eat chips every single night and maintain your weight. You just need to be in a calorie maintenance. And you would just need to figure that out. So it really takes the ownership. There's no excuses anymore. It's like, oh, you want that? No problem. Make it work. Figure it out.
Figure it out. Yeah, exactly. And like, let's be real though. We're always having that conversation about what do I want to like for food? Man, are we ever like, I really want that. I want that. But let's also think about like, but what type of person do you want to be? What results do you want? And I think that drives more my actions than what I actually like. Do I want to sit on the couch and watch Netflix, or do I want to go for a 10-kilometer walk? Well, hello, I want to sit and do nothing, but I want results more than sitting on the couch. And I need to behave like the person that, maintains her weight, prioritizes her health. Well, then that means you need to go for your walk, So I do think that there's that deeper conversation that people aren't having sometimes. It's just like action versus action, but there should be a conversation about what do you want as a result.
And it's hard because the food is instant.
You're
or
right.
sitting on your couch is instant.
You're right.
And, you going for your walk, you don't see, I mean, you do feel the effects right away. Let's be honest. You feel great. You feel proud. That helps with your next choice, all of those things. But I do think sometimes people think, well, this one thing won't matter. This one thing won't matter. This one thing won't matter. And then it just builds up and up. And we're not taking the time to think about when I say no, maybe I say no to a second beer. It's actually me saying yes to, in a week, going to my friend's pool and feeling good about my body.
Yeah,
Like,
there's something to be said about like the instant gratification of sitting and watching Netflix with a bowl of chips, there will be consequences if that was not who you want it to be. Whether it's the next day, whether the next day you're like, no big deal, it was just once, and then you keep doing it, at one point you're going to feel and I don't have a better word than consequences. It seems really harsh, but you get what I mean. And it's the same for walking. So you go for your walk. After going for your walk, you might be like, oh, that was a lot, but I'm happy I did it, but only when you go on multiple walks do you get the rewards of choosing that behavior instead of the other one. So nothing is very instant. There's rarely like that, like I do that and I get something right away out of it. There's always either a consequence or a reward coming if you keep consistently doing it. So, and do we ever choose Netflix and ice cream? Yes. Honestly, I have done that, but it's not consistently. It's like here and there where I'm like, my body and my brain is very much choosing to do this right now. This is what I want right now, but most of the time I want to prioritize my health. And that's what I choose.
You know what? Because you do so rarely choose that, it is a real treat.
Yes, absolutely.
If that was your norm every single night, ice cream and Netflix isn't a treat anymore. If that's how you do it every single night.
You're right. And you're not even having that conversation. Like, let's say I am exhausted and it's a Wednesday and I'm like, it would be the best making myself like a little sundae and sitting, how I love ice cream, everyone. But before I do that, I reason with myself. Do you really want that? Would you choose the consequences of that ice cream? Would you? And if the answer is like, yes, like I would gain 1 pound for this ice cream. Like I am willing to trade it for that. Go ahead and enjoy it. No guilt. But I do think that people are like, oh, just because I want this and they told me to go for what I want. Well, yes, but have you played the other side as well? Have you like had that conversation of like, what this means, right? If you say yes to that, it means this. Are you okay with that? Just like you saying no to the second beer. You saying no to the second beer might end up making you feel a little bit deprived in that moment. But are you willing to feel a little bit deprived right now for the rewards of saying no? And if you're like, yes, that's what I want, then that's the right choice.
Done.
Yeah.
And we often do not give ourselves time or space to have that conversation with ourselves. We're ordering the second beer before the first one's even gone. And we're just like, it's so instant.
You're right. It is so instant, especially with food. Like you said, like you're ordering it because you want it right now, but you're not thinking of what this all means. And there's a lot of thinking, I understand, but you guys, like it comes with experience as well. And as you do it, it comes naturally. And also having a plan before you go can help. Like if you're like, I just want 1 beer, I don't want 6, like all of that, like having that plan a little bit of like how you're going to manage both, how you're going to manage beer, but also your goals.
Oh, I'm feeling targeted by this conversation.
Oh my God, I love you so much. So I guess this podcast was just to, make everyone feel normal about having the thought of like, man, summer's not really weight loss friendly, huh? And I'm like, yeah, no, it isn't. You're right. It really is not weight loss friendly. Does it mean that it's impossible to lose weight? Absolutely not. Like weight loss is not this like magical specific thing. You just need to be in a calorie deficit. Now, the thing is do you want to create a lifestyle this summer that puts you in a deficit? That could mean saying no to beer. It could mean to say no to s'mores at the camper. It could mean less day trips because you want to like be more in control of what you'll be consuming. I mean, if that's what you want, okay. But it takes more effort to create a deficit in the summer, you guys. Like that's just normal,
Yeah, absolutely. So we just hope that this gave you guys an opportunity to consider the possibilities of your summer goals and to really take the time to digest and think about what you do want out of this summer so that you don't finish this summer feeling like a failure.
Right.
And I just want one last point too. I need to tell you guys that if you listen to this whole thing, you're like, do you know what? They're right. Like, sure, I want weight loss, but I don't want the actions it would require to lose weight this summer. Please know that that doesn't mean you just close down everything and go for it. Like, it requires effort to just maintain. You will need to stay connected to your goals, to who you want to be, to a lot of things just to maintain.
Yes, absolutely. And like we said, just because you're being reasonable at every fun thing you're doing, that could still lead to a surplus, you guys. So that's why we, help our members so much with like in-betweens matter, strategies on when you're at the beach to not make that surplus so high that you're ending up in a surplus by the end of the week. Most of our members are choosing to stay the same. Not a lot of people go in and say, I just want to gain 20 pounds. Like, I mean, no one says that, So I'd say 99% of our members are we've like taught them so well to like manage their expectations that I think most of them are like, I'm just expecting to maintain. And if I end up, losing 2 pounds, awesome. But I think they're just like, we're teaching them so much to like not lower expectations, but managing them, like manage your expectations as time passes, because circumstances change and things change, and seasons change. And that's a huge change in one's life is summer. It's a huge change in how someone lives their life.
Yeah.
There's something else that you said that I was like, yes. Okay. Yes. And so when Alicia says stay connected to your goals, that means accountability. That means, being transparent and honest with how things are going. That means it means looking at the scale, you guys, like you need to see it with your eyes. Like, okay, like I see that I'm gaining weight. I see it and I feel it. How can I act today? Not like my summer's ruined, like just that day where you feel ready to make a change and behave in a little bit more in the person you want to be, just one day at a time.
One day at a time.
All right, you guys. So join us. Obviously, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I'd love to join this program, join us under our website, yourwayoursupport.com. You can pay monthly, 6 months or a year. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that summer is such a good time to be a member at Your Way Weight Loss because it provides so much content and knowledge that will help you for next summer and the summers after. Like we're setting you up for success for life. Yeah. So join us or follow us. Come see us on Instagram. Tell us how you like this podcast. Obviously, take a picture of you listening to it, share it on your stories. Man, do we ever love when you tag us to your things?
Like the best.
Like
it's probably a good reminder that people are actually listening so that maybe we shouldn't say inappropriate things.
Exactly. There you go. So find us on all platforms under Your Way Weight Loss, like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. There's content for everyone. Have a great day, you guys. Bye, Leash.
Bye.